Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Big hello to all the new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. Been a week or so since I put up a video. And you say, why? Well, I got caught up in it. You say caught up in what? I got caught up in cucumbers. Not them kind. The other kind. What kind? This kind. I don't make it up. Here's the headlines of the paper. All right. It says somewhere, sea cucumber, red sea cucumber. That's it, and that's what they look like. You can see he's holding one there. Yeah, he's got the sea cucumber, and that's an albino one, it says right there. It says left, an albino sea cucumber, one of the rarest kinds of sea cucumbers according to diver Vasily Kalashnikov. But that is a commercial fishery here where I live. And when I say I got caught up in it, what I mean is I had a couple of these divers who go down there on the bottom. They told me they go around about 30 to 40 feet of water, and they just pick these things up off the bottom of the ocean, and they use typically air compressors with a hose that goes down to some kind of mast thing, and those air compressors run on little Honda motors, little GX 160 Hondas. So I had like 3 of those come in. Then I had a couple of the divers who their skiffs to go get these things needed. One wouldn't pee in and so forth. So I got caught up in that, and I had to put the stuff that I was doing aside to get a little 15 horse done, 30 done, both Evinrudes, and then on top of that, I got that. He said it wouldn't shift. When he brought it in, he was right, it wouldn't shift. I reached down to see what the propeller was doing and literally pulled that out. So then after I called him back, I noticed somebody had been in there because the retaining clip was straightened out. And he said, yeah, I was going to see if I could just stick it back in there. What happened was my tilt trim wasn't working, and so we just had to kind of drag it out, and it hit where we launched at. It was off a beach, and the whole thing came out. So I got to put that back together. And if that one don't work, nary despair, I have another one, just like the other one. In fact, I'm probably just going to swap them, and then because this engine, I don't even know if this engine runs. It's one I've had around here for quite a while, but it's got the same lower unit, and that one hasn't had its guts pulled out. So I'm going to pop that one off, and replace it onto that one. And then his tilt don't work, so I know the tilt motor works because I already actuated it with just a pair of pliers. So I just got to clean up the terminal leads, or the switch could be bad. I'm not sure on that, so I got to get that. Like I said, I got caught up in the old cucumbers, and what nothing I could do about it. So I got one more I got to show you. Let's see, where's it at? All right. Just a newspaper. They're at it again. Bears. The brown bears. Trying to find you. The bear shot on Hillside Drive. They shot the bear. Says the Alaskan wildlife troopers shot the bear up on Hillside Drive at the base of Pillar Mountain. You understand? Said over the summer, 2 particular bears kept breaking into people's backyards, dumping over their garbage cans, and they kept returning, it said. And so they tried non-lethal means a couple of times on these little bears. Little, in the area of 700 pounds probably. Then it goes on to say on the second page that it has been a troublesome couple of bears that have literally learned to break in and open car doors and get inside people's cars. Said they became habituated. Breaking into cars and trash cans. They recently learned to open, unlock car doors, Nicholson said. So them pretty smart bears. Well, I think they only shot the one. They'll get the other one soon, I'm sure, because once they learn to open the car doors, how long is it going to be before they learn to start them? Next thing you know, you're going to see bears driving around. Can't have that. You just can't have that. You know? Can't have that. Can't have the bears driving around. They're probably good drivers. They probably obey all the laws. I would even go as far as say they probably drive better than a lot of people do. But not that one, because he dead. Well, actually, it didn't say he was dead, just said they shot him. Something to think about, huh? I'll be right back.
Hey, it's me, Billy Ray. I was talking to Trader Jim. He said he came down here to pick up his outboard motor, and that you was at it again, tearing apart, tearing up, American-made Mercury motors. I thought I done told you, I ain't gonna stand for that. Tearing up a pretty, perfectly good Mercury motor. Why, I never. I'm the best commercial fisherman in the whole North Territory. You know how many sucker-faced eel monkey fish cod I had to catch to get my first Mercury? I snuck in here at night. I'm gonna come back tomorrow. I'm gonna look for myself. And if you tearing up them perfectly good Mercury motors, I'm gonna fix you. I'm gonna fix you right.
Okay, the first thing I want to do is pry off this rubber grip. And in order to do that, there's some little tangs that you gotta get pried out of there. There they are. They're right ahead of the screw. I'll show them to you when I get this off. Okay. not to damage it too much. She's coming slowly. There. And there's those little rubber tabs right there. You see, you got to pry them up out of the way. Then when I go to put this on, I'll take a razor knife and cut those off and just put glue on there, and it'll stay. Now, the reason why I got that off is because this screw right here won't back out. You're going to need another tool to make that happen, and I'll show you 2 tools. This tool right here, same one we used to get them apart, I'll show you that. What I'm going to do is, let's see if I got you in there even. I'm going to shave away the plastic around that screw so I can get my other tool on it. Sometimes that screw right there will get stuck so hard you'll never get that out with a screwdriver. But there is a way. Like I said, I shave it off to where I get enough of that head that I can grab. And these are the tools that'll do it. This one right here, these are called VAM pliers. Hopefully you can see that. VAM pliers. And what's important about them is that they have teeth on the very end that will grab. You can see those slotted teeth. They'll grab that head and they'll get it out of there. Pop! Out she comes. Don't worry about that right there. When we re-glue and put the cover on it, you won't see that. You won't even hardly notice it. That's how the VAM pliers work. Them teeth, they grab hold of it. That's why you got to shave a little away. All right. We're going to cut straight in like that, right at the seam here. When you start seeing the sparks, aluminum don't spark when you grind it. When you start seeing sparks, that's when you're cutting through the little screw there. apart. Same thing coming the other way. There's my spark. All right. Now we're going to do this one. Gotta get it in there. Cut all the way through. Gotta see if I did. I did. Don't lose your shim. Now, I just take a little hammer and a punch if necessary. Now you can, don't lose your shim. Now you can get that out of there. And punch that out of there. Same with that. Just took a little punch, tap that one out of there. Now, you can clean all this up now and lube it and paint it or whatever you want to do, and it will go back together just fine. All we did was widen the little slot there a little bit. There's already a seam running through here, and you can see we widened it a little there. And when you go back up with it, use the brass. Don't that brass look nice in there? See the brass? I did this one the same way. You can see it's a little wider, but it won't hurt the function of the unit at all. It will work just fine as this one does now. So it works really free and really loose. So that's how you get those apart. And when you go back up, use brass. So the next time if you got to do it, All you got to do is drill the head of that soft brass off, and that's how you get one of these real difficult tiller handles apart. And after you pry the rubber part of the grip off, you just put contact cement put the contact cement, rubber cement. Ooh, no wrinkle rubber cement. It says no wrinkle, you understand. So get you some of that, paint it on the rubber part, paint it all inside there. And these little tabs that I was talking about, them little thingies that stick up, just take a razor knife and cut those off. Just cut them off, and then paint a good coat rubber cement on both pieces. Like I said, you won't even notice that when it goes back together. Paint the contact cement, paint it in there, let it sit for 2 or 3 minutes, back together. Also, that same die grinder tool, these screws that you take out with these van pliers, they've got that screw that holds this piece on is Phillips head, and they're generally always boogered up. So after you pull them out with the van pliers, then what I do is I take that same die grinder and I cut me a nice deep slot for a straight screwdriver. Cut you a nice deep slot. Whoops, wrong screwdriver. So see how deep that is? Nice deep slot. Then you can turn them out, or turn them back in, and put a little geese on there. Put you some duck butter on there. That's how you do it. And then, just like I had to do this little 7.5, I can put a tiller handle back on it, because they did the other one. Alright, I'll be back. So, when you go to put the bolt and nut back on these units, brass. It's all about that brass. It's all about that brass, about that brass, about that brass. It's all about that brass, no metal. It's all about that brass, about that brass, about that brass. It's all about that brass, no metal. Brass, not metal. That way the next time you take it apart, if it's all corroded and everything and turned green and stuff like that, you can drill it out with just a drill. You can just drill the head off of this, because brass is soft like butter. Use the brass. If you put stainless in there, it'll just corrode up, because the aluminum will react to it. If you put mild steel in there, it'll even be worse. If you use brass, you won't have to do the sawing thing. You'll be able to just drill the head right off that soft brass screws there. Just drill that little head right off and it'll fall apart. Use the brass. The weather has been yuck, and so I've been just doing small things. I want to do some sanding and painting and wire wheeling and all that, but I can't because it's raining outside. I could do it in here, but then it makes dust everywhere, and I don't want dust everywhere. I got enough dust. Don't need no more dust. You understand? So, weather's supposed to get better starting tonight. It's supposed to clear up a little and be partly sunny tomorrow, so hopefully I can get some stuff done. Right now, I'm not even going to film it because I don't think you want to watch oil drain out of a Honda 15 horsepower 4-stroker. Well, maybe you do. I don't know. But that's all I got going right now. I'm going to drain the oil out of this little Honda here, and then see if I got a couple transom clamp handles because it needs them. And this is my engine, and I have a fella that wants to buy it, so I'm going to sell that to him. I just sold a 50 horse I had out here the other day. And I got another guy wanting to buy my little 6 horse Johnson. So, probably sell that one too. But, right now I'm going to drain some oil, and if the weather breaks here in a little bit, I'll do some sanding and wire wheeling and stuff like that on my little 56 Johnson. So, thanks for watching.